Why I eat these?
Yeah.
Because it's the best food in the world. Ever since I was a little kid, my favorite food was hamburger. When I heard McDonald's was coming out with a Big Mac, it's like, I figured I'd be eating a lot of those. Because like I say, double burgers are the best food in the world. What I started doing was after I eat my Big Mac, I'd throw the carton in the back seat of my car. And so every carton I had was in the back seat. And then after a month, I decided to clean the car out. And at first, I was only going to keep track. I thought I was going to get drafted for the Vietnam War, you know. So I thought, well, at least I'll eat them every day until I get drafted or whatever. And then when I didn't get drafted, it just kept on going. Right now, there's 6 Big Macs in my freezer. And that'd be in case of a snowstorm or something, because that's the first time I missed eating a Big Mac was a snowstorm, and McDonald's didn't open that day. And that got me into the habit of starting to keep them in the refrigerator or freezer and stuff. When you see me get on an airplane or something like that, in my luggage will be Big Macs because I don't want to miss a day. So just in case, you know, I don't run into McDonald's that first day or two, I got Big Macs along. See this booth here, see the old McDonald's was right next door right there, and this was the parking lot. And the owner made this my booth kind of because if this was 1975, this is the spot where my car is parked when I proposed to my wife for marriage, was this spot. And so I pasted it off, you know, from the old place to new, and he's right. This is the spot where I proposed to her. So it's kind of neat that he thought enough of it to, you know, make a Gorske booth or whatever.
Well, the Fond du Lac man reaches a Big Mac milestone.
Don Gorske ate his 30,000th Big Mac today. Now that's a new world record. The Mickey D's superfan has eaten 2 of the sandwiches every day for nearly 46 years.
You know, every 10,000 takes me 14 years. So you look ahead and it's like, wow, will I still be around that many years in advance? And it's like I say, I hope they keep hitting them for a while yet. Big hat guy in Fond du Lac.
Gorske was officially entered into the Guinness Book of World Records last year.
From fish, we turn to beef now, and more specifically, hamburger. A Fond du Lac man has kept meticulous records of how many Big Macs he's eaten. He even gave us a book about his habit. And he says tomorrow he'll get to 30,000 Big Macs. Don Gorske will extend his world record for the most Big Macs consumed at the McDonald's on South Military Road in Fond du Lac. He broke the previous record of nearly 29,000 Big Macs eaten just 2 years ago. Now, for nearly 46 years, Gorske has bought 2 Big Macs every day from the local restaurant. He says he's only missed 8 days.
The biggest thing was a hamburger. Like for me, my favorite food was always hamburger, even as a kid. I remember even my dad would take me to McDonald's when I was a kid. I remember one time I told him I was going to eat there every day sometime, and that really did happen. The police or whatever.
It's a real passion of his, as you can tell. Gorske says his love for the Big Mac began in 1972 after buying his first car. And the first place he drove it, yes, you guessed it, right to McDonald's for 3 Big Macs at lunch. He then went back 2 more times that day, eating 9 Big Macs in all. Again, number 30,000 tomorrow. He loves his hamburgers.
Now to the Big Macaholic, who says he has eaten 12,000 Big Macs over 30 years. That works out to almost 1 every day. And he says he's totally fit and healthy. ABC's Nick Watt has his story.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Dennis Rosenlove has special sauce
Hi, Dennis.
hello coursing through his veins.
Doing the usual today?
I am. My first meal of the day is always about 10:30 when they open up for Big Macs.
You can keep your Egg McMuffins, your fillets o' fish, and all the rest of it. Rosenlove ain't interested.
I enjoy what I eat and it tastes good, so I do the same thing every day.
And that's a Big Mac meal. This electrical appliance salesman and Vietnam vet, apparently in great health, is a self-confessed Big Macaholic with a 30-year habit.
Mondays, I always eat 1 Big Mac, 2 on Tuesdays, 1 on Wednesdays, 2 on Thursdays, 1 or 2 on Friday, and 2 every Saturday.
10 a week. He estimates he's scarfed down more than 12,000 in a lifetime. He eats almost nothing else, except on the day of rest.
Sunday, my wife cooks meals and we eat family dinner. works out great.
What's missing from his diet, it seems, are vitamins, minerals, fiber. The good news is he's keeping his calories in check. It's 700 fewer calories than the average American man brings in.
He just eats them all in Big Macs.
It has all the major food groups in it, and I'm not sure what's in the special sauce, but you put them all together and it makes a fantastic sandwich.
And the most surprising thing of all, Rosenlov, an active 64-year-old, claims his cholesterol is totally respectable. And he has a BMI that is alarmingly average, thanks to the daily Big Mac diet. For Good Morning America, Nick Watt, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And okay, if one Big Mac is good, are 23,000 better? Don Gorske thinks so. He ate his 23,000th Big Mac last month. He says he has had at least one a day for the past 36 years, except for the day his mom died. She requested he not have one that day. Gorske says he's got no plans to stop.
Probably be the rest of my life. Like I wrote my book, the wife made a comment that she says when she's got to put them in a blender, it's over.
She's got to put them in the blender, it's over. Gorske says he eats two, count them, 2 Big Macs a day.
Man, just for me to be able to eat my favorite food every day is just, I can't tell you what it's like. You can eat your favorite thing every day and not have to worry about, like me, getting fat and stuff. So, like I say, I just enjoy my Big Macs every day. I just saw a doctor earlier this month and he says I'm in good health. My cholesterol this time was 156. Actually, that's the third time I've had my cholesterol checked. In 1997 it was 158, and in 2003 it was 140. And it's kind of cute, and when it was 140, the nurse called and she says, we're a little bit worried about your cholesterol being so low. And I said, well, what do you want me to do, eat 3 Big Macs a day? Because I usually only just eat 2, you know. And then the lady just said, well, you know, sorry, I forgot you're that guy, just forget about it, you know. So just keeping them isn't a big deal to me. I love them microwaved because, you know, it's what I'm kind of used to. So now my rut for quite a while has been just to buy 6 on Monday and 8 on Thursday. The only deterrent is that is the comment that the wife made, and everybody likes to laugh about that. But she says, you know, for me to keep eating Big Macs, like when she has to put them in a blender, it's over. So, but that's probably a very true statement. I just can't, you know, that would be the only thing that can stop me is not being able to get them myself, you know. I don't know what it is. It's part of my obsessive compulsive thing is to save the cartons. I save the count books. Like I say, I like to keep track of my counts and stuff. And so if you need to look up a date and say, oh, which Big Mac did you eat on that day, I can kind of show you and stuff. And then receipts. I also try to save every receipt. Like for me, when I was 19 years old, I had eaten my first 1,000 Big Macs, and it's kind of like I thought, like, man, you know, how long before I hit 10,000, you know? And it's like, boy, by the time I hit 25,000, I'll be old and retired. Well, once you know, like I say, I'm not, well, super old, I'm 57, but I am retired and stuff, and it's kind of like you don't dream of living so long as to reach a milestone like that. And so for me, I think it means a lot just because I lived that long, because people didn't think I would. Enjoy. Yeah.
You may know him from the movie Super Size Me, or you may have seen him at a Fond du Lac McDonald's. He's there just about every day.
A local celebrity. And today, Don Gorske ate his 30,000th Big Mac burger. The milestone adds on to Gorske's record Big Mac consumption. He's been eating about 14 of the burgers each week, and he's done it for nearly 46 years. Gorske says his love for the sandwich began in the early 70s when he drove his first car to McDonald's. He says reaching this new milestone is a special day.
It means a lot because I lived long enough to hit 30,000, you know, but I plan to keep on going. It's just that I'm always amazed when I'm actually, you know, when I think ahead, you know, every 10,000 takes me 14 years.
Very impressive. Well, Gorske says he saves his Big Mac cartons and keeps an exact count to help him keep track of his Big Mac totals.
This is one of our favorite stories this morning, a supersized world record. One man just ate his 30,000th Big Mac. Don Gorske, he's a lifelong fan of the burger. He says he's eaten 2 of them a day for nearly 46 years. He's only skipped the burgers 8 days in that time.
You know, every 10,000 takes me 14 years, so you look ahead and it's like, wow, will I still be around that many years in advance? And it's like I say, I hope they keep hitting them for a while yet.
I'd say his record is safe between the adorable haircut and his cute accent. I love him. And his love for the sandwich began in 1972, bought his first car, drove it straight to McDonald's, ate 3 Big Macs, then went back 2 more times that day, eating 9 in total.
Make you wonder how many Big Macs we all eat in that span of time, over 14 years. More than 14, at least.
It's impressive.
When it comes to the Big Mac, one man is really loving it because he's eaten 30,000 of them.
My first Big Mac was May 17th, 1972.
Yes, 64-year-old Don Gorske of Wisconsin has been eating Big Macs for 46 years. Guinness World Records recognized him for most Big Macs consumed in 2016 after he surpassed the 28,000 mark. They caught up with him last year to find out how he was able to reach such a milestone.
When I first started eating Big Macs, there was like, you know, like when you have chocolate for the first time and you can't get enough chocolate or whatever, that's the way it was for me with Big Macs. And so I was eating 9 Big Macs a day for almost a month before I really calmed down and got into a normal eating pattern.
These days, he says he eats 2 Big Macs a day, and he claims he's never had a problem with his weight because he stays active.
Here's a 25th anniversary from, you can see the writing here, that's from Montreal.
But it's not just the taste Gorske enjoys. He's a true enthusiast and has collected Big Mac packaging throughout the decades. With no plans of changing his eating habits, he could one day push his own record to 40,000. For InsideEdition.com, I'm Mara Montalbano.
We always ask how many, and he holds up how many fingers.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's always the how many. Yeah.
It's just one from now, yeah.
Just one?
That was a clip from the 2004 film Super Size Me. Remember that? The hit documentary featured the man who would one day become the Guinness World Record holder for the most Big Macs ever eaten. Don Gorske ate his record 28,788th Big Mac last year. Now he's on pace to break the 30,000 barrier in May. He joins us right now from Milwaukee. Don, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, good to see you.
Wow. How does it feel to eat all those Big Macs? I mean, what was it like to be crowned the Guinness World Record holder?
Oh, it's great to have a Guinness World Record. Like I say, when you have a habit that's kind of unique and stuff, it's great to have it recognized. The record would have happened whether or not Guinness was there. Big Macs are my favorite food, so I'm just going to keep eating them every day.
Do you work out?
No, I would probably be labeled hyperactive. I'm a little bit fidgety and stuff like that. I keep busy all day long, and I just have a way of burning up enough calories during the day to handle my habit.
Okay, so one thing.
I want to know if he gets them for free.
No, but all right, go ahead.
Don, do you get Big Macs for free now from McDonald's?
No, I do not. I pay the $4.19 per Big Mac, just like everybody else, which is fine with me. I don't feel McDonald's owes me anything. We all work for a living, and you know, I worked hard, and I like the fact that I'm able to buy my own Big Macs.
That's fantastic.
My question was a statistical question, because it says here, I'm reading here that the burgers have comprised between 90 and 95% of your diet.
That's why I said you work out.
No, but what's the other 5 to 10%?
What else do you eat?
Well, I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. What else?
Okay, I do eat other things, but you won't see me eat much of other things. For instance, like once in a while the wife wants to go out to eat. I know a couple weeks ago we went out for perch, and so I'll just have a small perch dinner or whatever, and then what people don't realize is that even though I had that perch dinner, I still had my 2 Big Macs that day. A lot of times I don't like going out to eat because then a lot of people come up to me and say, "What are you doing here?" and stuff, but that's all right. You know, it's like I say,
You
something
are
you get used to.
amazing. Don, you are the king of Big Macs. We are happy to meet you. Thanks
Well,
so much
thanks.
for joining us this morning.
Oh, you're welcome.
Don Gorske there.
I'm going to show you how McDonald's builds a Big Mac sandwich.
There are few foods as iconic as McDonald's Big Mac. The burger was created in 1965 by Jim Delegati, a McDonald's Corp franchisee in the Pittsburgh area, and originally served up in 1967 at one of his outlets. It went national the next year. We all know the ingredients.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
The Big Mac recipe hasn't changed much over the years, but the price has, originally costing 45 cents. It's now up to around $5. The Big Mac was seen as revolutionary, breaking away from the basic burgers and fries of most fast food chains. And it didn't take long for the double-decker to become McDonald's flagship menu item.
Come sink your teeth into a McDonald's Big Mac.
Ads for the cheeseburger are also among the most iconic marketing campaigns, sometimes enlisting top-tier names like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird in 1993.
What's in the bag? Lunch. Big Mac, fries. Play for it.
And in 1970, McDonald's even created a Big Mac mascot named Officer Big Mac.
Do you think Ronald will make it to McDonald's in time?
The Big Mac also had an on-screen role in Morgan Spurlock's Super Size Me. The 2004 documentary follows Spurlock's 30-day journey eating only McDonald's food.
This is probably the first time in a long time that I've actually seen a Big Mac that looks like the picture.
In recent years, the Big Mac allure has faded, as McDonald's has struggled to entice customers back from rival chains perceived as healthier. In fact, only 1 in 5 millennials has tried a Big Mac. McDonald's recently announced it is testing both a larger and smaller variation of the burger, called the Junior Mac and Grand Mac. Whether those succeed or the Big Mac remains, it will always be remembered as changing the landscape for burgers to come.
And now, a kind of milestone. One avid McDonald's fan consumed 25,000 Big Macs, but his cholesterol is defiantly low, confounding all of us who thought it had to be the other way. Those burgers packed with all the calories and cholesterol. So here is Jim Avila to tell us what this means.
Pretty close to 90% of my diet is probably just the Big Macs.
He is a freak of nature. Fond du Lac, Wisconsin's Don Gorske, able to eat Big Macs every day and everywhere.
And then this picture here is my 19,000th Big Mac.
More than 25,000 in all.
They haven't killed you? No, not even close. So I'm doing really good health-wise.
And he has the checkups to prove it. His cholesterol level is shockingly low, with little exercise.
1 Mac a day is not negatively impacting his numbers.
I feel great. I never get sick.
Still, it's not a diet most of us could get away with. 1 Big Mac has 540 calories, 29 grams of fat, the equivalent of an entire large cheese pizza, or on a more personal note, a 9-mile walk to work it off. Mr. Gorske's genetics are freakishly rare, say doctors, who remind us that there are 2 equally important factors in cholesterol: family history and lifestyle. There is no genetic test to see if we too could eat like Mr. Gorske and live.
I'm very concerned that this behavior is actually being portrayed as heroic.
The facts are that a majority of Americans have cholesterol that's too high, doubling the risk of heart disease, and it should be checked every 5 years. As for Wisconsin's walking contradiction, he survives against the odds.
We have to keep in mind this is the exception to the rule.
25,000 and counting, never knowing if his next could be his last. Jim Avila, ABC News, New York.
Okay, we all have our favorite food, but one prison guard in Wisconsin is taking it to extreme.
Yeah, here's what extreme is. He loves hamburgers so much, he's eaten them every day for nearly 46 years. And no, it's not just any burger. It's a McDonald's Big Mac. Don Gorske is 64. He's now eaten 30,000 of them. That's about 1 Big Mac a day for nearly 46 years, to do the math there. He has even kept most of the boxes and the receipts. And in case you're wondering how all those Big Macs are affecting his health, Don says his cholesterol and blood pressure are normal.
Well, I don't know how you're going to feel about this one, all right? Celebrating a major milestone. It is an accomplishment. Meet 64-year-old Don Gorske from Wisconsin, who just ate his 30,000th Big Mac.
Respect.
Yes, you heard that right, folks. Don says he's eaten at least one almost every single day since 1972. He also kept about 6,000 Big Mac boxes in perfect condition. Wow, Don, really? He has a spot now in the Guinness Book of World Records. In case you're wondering, he says his cholesterol and his blood pressure are perfectly normal, and he actually weighs less than he did years ago.
If success could be measured in McDonald's Big Macs, then a Wisconsin man has done it all.
Don Gorske has been eating Big Macs every day for more than 46 years. That's a whole lot of burgers, 30,000 to be exact. It's also a new record for the most Big Macs ever consumed. To this day, the Fond du Lac man says the fast food doesn't make him feel sick. He describes the habit as more of an addiction.
Just so good. It was kind of like chocolate. I couldn't get enough of it at first and stuff like that, and it's still my favorite sandwich.
Alrighty then. Gorske says he eats about 2 Big Macs every day.
Was that a Beetle or Don Gorske?
There's a lot of strange things about me, and as you'll probably find out, I got a really understanding wife. It's not just that I've never peeled a game piece off a Big Mac carton. I've got thousands of cartons with game pieces on there, and if I got a car, that's just too bad, you know. The receipts that the employees are supposed to slap on the spindle so that they knew how much money should be. To fill this up, I put the ones that like my brothers and sisters got from other countries. And
here's someone who's not interested in calorie counts. A man from Wisconsin is now the proud recipient of a new world record for eating the most Big Macs. Guys,
is incredible.
It is kind of incredible. Maybe that's the right word for it. Meet Don Gorske. He just ate his 30,000th Big Mac. Don is 64 years old. He's from Fond du Lac. He's been eating 2 Big Macs a day since 1972. Perhaps the wildest thing about Mr. Big Mac. Now, this is the weirdest to me. He doesn't go to McDonald's every day. He buys 6 of them every Monday, 8 more every Thursday, and then he reheats them throughout the week.
Oh, that's
kind of gross. I don't know.
I'd go every day.
Gorske says his count would be higher, but he did make a promise to his mom at one point that he'd have one non-Big Mac meal per day.
Don Gorske.
Yeah, also a promise he made to his heart.
Yeah.
His cardiovascular.
64 though. That's not
How's
bad.
he made it so long?
I don't know.
I don't get the reheating
thing. The reheating thing is horrible.
Because isn't there a sauce on there that seems
the
like it would
special sauce. I mean, I love a Big Mac. I mean, I've eaten 2 Big Macs in one sitting, but I mean,
really,
any more than that.
We're all very judgmental right now, though. We can't knock until we try it.
That's true.
Right?
So now we'll start eating every single day.
Here we go. Why don't you try it?
At 10. A Fond du Lac man reaches a meaty milestone.
Yeah, the Big Mac guy. Number 25,000 was consumed today. New at 6:12 News, Mike Anderson was there.
I should try to look my best, right?
Don Gorske of Fond du Lac, you're chowing down on Big Mac number 25,000. What are you going to do now? Eat another one? Yeah, why not? The 57-year-old started back in 1972, eating 9 a day. He's cut back now to 1 or 2.
You think it's weird? Yeah, I think it's weird. But that's okay. It's a good weird.
The guy defies all nutritional logic. The Big Mac has 576 calories and 742 milligrams of sodium.
It's not something we would encourage because the calories are so high, over 500 for one sandwich. That's a lot for most people.
But look at him. He wears a boyish figure on a 6-foot frame and declares himself as healthy as a horse.
In fact, I had my cholesterol just checked a couple weeks ago and it was 156. That's the 3rd time I've had it checked. In 1997, it was 158. In 2003, it was 140. I mean, it's just, there's nothing showing me that my cholesterol is going up.
So does he eat anything else?
So yesterday, besides my Big Mac, I had a hot dog and a bowl of cereals.
McDonald's was the first place he drove after he bought his first car when he was 17. The owner recommended a good sandwich. That's how he got started on the Big Mac.
It was the best thing I ever ate in my life.
Don says he's not going to stop at 25,000. He says he'll probably be eating Big Macs until the day he dies. In Fond du Lac, Mike Anderson, WISN 12 News.
In case you're wondering, Don does hold the Guinness World Record for eating Big Macs.